Hi, this is Kim, and you are watching ECT TV, episode 20. In the last couple of weeks, we have been making jewelry with buttons. In episode 18, we made a button charm bracelet, and last week we made a cute button charm that had a little dangle on it. So today I wanted to just sort of go along with that theme. You're going to use the skills you learned last week in episode 19, but if you missed it, don't worry, I'll show you again. And make a button so that you can add it to a necklace like I'm wearing, or a charm bracelet. So in 18, we just simply added the buttons with jump rings. But if your button is too big for that, I will show you what you should do. The tutorial I'm going to show you today is how you are able to make a button to put on a charm bracelet even if your jump ring won't fit through it. Okay, so let's get started. This is what you'll need for this project. You'll need a button, and I'm using a pretty big button here. It doesn't really matter what size, it's kind of based on your taste. And it can have 2 holes or 4 holes, but I don't recommend a shank button for this particular project. You'll need wire, and I recommend 20 gauge half hard round wire for this project. However, I wanted to use brass wire, and the only brass I have on hand right now is 24 gauge, so I'm using that. So that just kind of shows you that you can use what you have on hand when you're in a pinch. So whatever wire you want to use should be fine. You will need wire cutters, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and then another pair of pliers. I'll be using bent nose pliers. So to get started, I am going to cut off about 5 inches of the wire. I'm going to do a flush cut, which is the back of the wire cutters toward the work. And then I'm going to just make sure both sides have a flush cut. Okay, so now we just grab our button, and you just put the wire through one of the holes, and it doesn't matter which hole, you can pick whatever one. And then bend the wire, so it's going to be in the middle of the wire. And so you want the hole closest to the edge for that, so whichever one you pick, just pull the wire toward the close side, and then bend it in half. And then I just like to kind of take my finger and go down like this, and so you see the 2 wires have crossed. And then you can either use your chain nose pliers and hold the wire and twist it, or just use your fingers, which is what I'm going to do, and make one full twist. So you have that. Now, I'm just grabbing my round nose pliers, and if you've been watching these episodes of ECT TV, you'll know I make 2 marks usually on my pliers. One is right here, one's more toward the tip for smaller loops. I am going to make my loop over here at the one on the larger part of the barrel of the pliers. So I'm going to grab a hold of one wire. I'm going to line it up with that mark, and also I'm going to be just slightly above where we just made that twist. then you just pull the wire down toward you, and then go underneath the pliers, and in between the pliers and that twist we made, and then just stop there. Now, your loop is probably not going to be straight above the button, so you can just simply roll back like that with your pliers, and it should be straight. If you find that uncomfortable, because I used to find that uncomfortable, you can just simply take your pliers off and then grab your chain nose pliers and just adjust it how you need with those. So now we're just going to wrap this wire around the other wire. So I'm going to hold my loop that I just made in chain nose pliers, and I'm right-handed, so I'll be wrapping with my right hand, holding with my left hand. And then you can, at this point, grab your bent nose pliers or whatever other pliers you want to use. You can actually use round nose pliers if you hold it by the wire by the very tip, and then you have to kind of trim off the end, because the round nose pliers will make a mark in your wire. Or if you're using a thin gauge of wire and you have kind of a long tail, you can just do this with your hands, which sometimes is what I feel more comfortable doing. So I'm going to wrap. I just said that, but now I realize I want to use my pliers. So just go around, kind of ignore this other wire over here for now, and go around a few times, keeping the wraps next to each other and keeping everything kind of tight and neat as you can. And that is something that comes with time, practice. Alright, I have wrapped that side, and I have a little bit left. I'm just going to trim that off when I'm done. So now, going the other way, I am going to wrap this other wire, and the whole thing is kind of turning with it, so I'm just going to use my hands and sort of do this. Like I said, I'm using a thin wire, so you can easily do this when you're using thin wire. If you're using 20 gauge wire, like I suggested, you should not have any problem holding it in the pliers and wrapping it that way. And so now I'm just going to take my wire cutters, trim off a couple little ends I have poking out here. And then you grab your chain nose pliers and make sure the ends are not poking out. So to do that, you just sort of take the pliers, hold it around like your wrap, and where that part is poking out, and you just kind of go around with your pliers. And do that for both sides, both of your ends here. And that is really all there is to it. Now, I did want to show you, I made my loop this way, but I actually want it to be going the other way. So I'm just going to grab my chain nose pliers, hold onto the loop, and twist it. So now it's going this way. When I made it, I wasn't thinking about the fact that when I attach this to a chain, I'm going to make a necklace. I'll be adding a jump ring and adding it to the chain, so the loop has to be going this way. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and you can put it to good use in either making a necklace like I made or adding buttons to a charm bracelet. As always, if you come over to KimberlyKoehler.com, I will have this tutorial for you in photographs. while you're there, make sure you sign up for my email newsletter because I send a PDF of each episode out to subscribers, so it's easy to download and save. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up. I have been making these ECT TV video episodes every week for 20 episodes now, with a couple of breaks here and there. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to actually release them every other week from now on out. But don't worry, on the opposite week where there is not an ECT TV episode, I will have a tutorial on my blog and pictures. So you'll still be able to make your jewelry, don't worry. So I will see you in 2 weeks. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can keep up with everything. If you go over to my website at KimberlyKoehler.com, sign up for my newsletter, and get these episodes right in your inbox, you'll know when they are ready for you to view, and you'll get a PDF of the tutorial that you can save and print. You can find me on social media at facebook.com/emergingcreativelytutorials, on Twitter at Kimberly Koehler, and I'm on Instagram now at Kimberly Koehler, and I'm still trying to figure it out, so come follow me and you can see what I do throughout my day. I will see you in 2 weeks.